Amongst the ruined towers of the Scottish borders, there's a sound the wind won't claim, a steady and chilling thump, thump, thump. They say as the sound gets louder, death is near. This is the legend of the Dunter. I'm James, and this is Mythic Tides. There are few landscapes in the British Isles quite like the borderlands. A country of heather and ruin, of wind-torn moors, and the ghosts of quarrels that never quite ended. Here, the very hills seem to brood. Stones crumble from towers once raised in pride or desperation, and in their cracked hearts, something still stirs. The locals will tell you that not every ruin is empty. Some of them still whisper, others pound. Among the border's strangest inhabitants are the beings called the Dunters and Powries. Names that sound almost comical till you hear what they describe. These are not the blood-soaked fiends of the Redcap legend, but subtler horrors, spirits that haunt through sound alone. Their presence is betrayed not by sight, but by the slow, rhythmic thud that rises from the stones, as though the ruins themselves were beating with some buried heart. They are, if you will, the echoes of history refusing to rest. The old folklorist William Henderson, writing in 1879, gave a wonderfully practical definition. Powries or Dunters are sprites who inhabit forts, old castles, peel towers or dungeons, and they constantly make a noise there as of a beating flax or bruising barley in the hollow of a stone. If this sound is longer or louder than usual, it portends a death or misfortune. No bloody claws or glowing eyes, just a slow, unending pounding. Henderson's description is almost soothing until you remember that it's an omen. If the pounding grows louder, someone dies. The name itself gives away their character. Dunt, a blow, pow, a strike, each a thump that says more than any ghostly wail ever could. These are the pounding spirits of the border towers, the hammering within old stones that warns of coming grief. Unlike the murderous Redcap who leaps from the shadow with a pike or scythe, the Dunter does not kill, he only foretells. His haunting is not a slaughter, but a sentence, a herald of ill fate delivered by echo. In Northumberland, they tell of a ruined tower where children dared each other to press an ear to an arrow slit. If you heard nothing, you were safe. But if, in the stillness, you caught the faint dunting, the hollow pounding from deep within the wall, you turned pale and left, for that meant death was abroad. One account speaks of a castle where the sound would rise each autumn as the nights grew long. It was said to be the beating of spectral boots upon the flagstones, heavy, measured, never hurried. The dead walking their rounds, the old folk said, and if the pounding grew more violent than usual, it was taken as a certain sign that someone in the household would not see spring. Another tale tells of a tower whose owner refused to repair its flooded lower chamber. Every attempt brought back the noise, a grinding, grating roar beneath the floorboards, like someone turning a great millstone. When a workman tried to drain the pit, he collapsed, struck cold as if by a blow within the stone itself. The owner took the hint and left the ruin to its inhabitant. What then are these Dunters and Powries? Ghosts, fairies, or something older still? Some folklorists see them as echoes of violence. These towers and their dungeons were the scenes of bloodshed for centuries, raids, feuds, burnings, betrayals. Perhaps the pounding is the past itself, the land's heart still beating from old wounds that never healed. The sound is history's memory replaying beneath the walls. Others interpret it as a kind of moral alarm system, a warning to stay clear of dangerous ruins. Before electricity, before hazard signs, you had the Dunter. Stay out of old castles after dark, the legend whispers. That pounding you hear isn't the wind. Then there's the scholarly middle ground, that curious limbo between fairy and ghost. The Dunter is neither trickster nor revenant. He's something between, a residual spirit of place, bound to stone and sound. If the redcap is a soldier of the unseelie court, then the Dunter is its drummer, unseen, unkind, and endlessly patient. Still others hear a religious undertone. After the Reformation, when many abbeys were abandoned and sanctuaries fell to ruin, people began to report mysterious noises from the crypt. The pounding was said to be the devil himself, mocking the silence of prayer. In that sense, the Dunter becomes a sound of faith forgotten, scripture unspoken, echoing endlessly down hollow aisles. Take for example the old story from Bowden Tower in Roxburghshire. A tenant there was kept awake by the great grind of irons in the dead hours. He dreamed of sluices opening beneath his bed, and each dawn found his cattle sick or dead. When at last a minister was called, the house was blessed and fell quiet for a fortnight. Then the noise returned, louder than ever. Before the year's end, the tenant's eldest son was killed in a raid. Coincidence? Perhaps. But the family swore that as long as the pounding lasted, no peace could dwell under that roof. So the tenant boarded the lower floor and left it to the unseen. He said, "Let the Dunter keep his place. He was here long before me." The Dunter and Powrie have largely been overshadowed by their louder cousin, the redcap. A pity really, for they represent something subtler and more haunting. The redcap is spectacle, the Dunter is memory. One kills, the other reminds. For who hasn't, when alone in an old building, heard something inexplicable, a knock or pulse within the walls, and felt that small, involuntary pause of the heart? The Dunters and Powries may be quiet legends, but they hum with meaning. They are perhaps the borderlands themselves, scarred, enduring, echoing with unfinished business. So if you ever wander the moors at night and come upon a ruined tower, pause and listen. If you hear nothing, count yourself blessed. But if you catch that faint, heavy pounding in the dark, the rhythmic thud of something unseen, then step back, my friend, for it's not the wind, nor the sea, nor the settling stone. It's history, still trying to speak, and the Dunter, ever dutifully, is beating the message home. If you've got something to say about the Dunter, please do leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe. I'm James, this is Mythic Tides. I hope to see you again soon.